All right. I really appreciate that. Great. Here.
So you're here to question I said. Hey. Remember they told Martin that yesterday and the judge said he helped him? No, what did he say? Who said we had to wait?
Are we ready to go?
Ready?
Yes, are y'all ready to go?
Yes, sure.
Okay, very good. All right, we are broadcasting live. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today is December the 3rd, 2023. This is Clayton County Magistrate Court first appearance, and I'm Judge Daniel Nagel. Please pay attention to these instructions because I'm going to go over a lot of information with you. And so when it's time to discuss your case, we can move quickly through everyone and get you all situated with the paperwork that you need completed. First and foremost, I want to let you know that this is an informative hearing and not an evidentiary hearing. What that means is that this is not an opportunity for you to present evidence or tell me why the facts and circumstances of your case are not true. That is for a later hearing that you will have an opportunity to discuss that with an attorney and present that evidence to a different judge. So do not tell me the circumstances of your case today because I'm not going to be able to do anything with the evidence that you want to give. Now, this is being broadcast live over YouTube, so just keep in mind that anything that you do say could potentially be used against you because law enforcement can go back and reference this proceeding. Okay, the information that I'm going to go over with you today is the nature of the charges against you, whether they are felonies or misdemeanors. Okay, then I'm going to go over your bond amounts if you are going to be receiving a bond. Also, I will let you know if any charges have been either modified or dismissed. If any of your charges are dismissed, just know that those charges could be brought back later on down the road. I'm not saying that they will be. I'm not saying that they won't be. That is not my job. My job is just to review the evidence that is given before me today and then make a determination whether there is enough evidence for those particular charges to proceed. Okay, so if your case is completely dismissed or certain charges are dismissed, it may be for a reason that could be fixed by law enforcement if they choose to do so, or charges may be added or modified by either the Solicitor General's office for misdemeanors or the District Attorney's office for felonies, okay? Also, I'm going to go over with you if you have any special conditions of your bond. Special conditions include a stay away provision from a person. If you were told to stay away from a person, guess what that means? Stay away from them. That means do not have any contact with them, either physically, in writing, TikTok, Instagram, WhatsApp, Kick, any other type of social media or any other creative way that you think that you can have contact with this person. Don't do it because guess what? If you violate your bond conditions, not only could your bond be revoked, but you may be looking at additional charges. And if a judge sees that you have picked up additional charges of violation of a judge's order, guess what they're not going to do? Probably give you a bond. So if you are ordered to stay away from someone, it's best that you do so. Another type of special condition of bond is that you stay away from a certain location. It's the same thing as staying away from a person. You can go anywhere in the world you want except that particular location, okay? If you violate your bond, you could have your bond revoked and pick up additional charges. If the location of where you're to stay away from is your residence or where you have personal belongings, I will put in the bond order that you may go back to that location and get belongings until your case is either A, resolved, or B, your bond conditions are changed, okay? However, you can't just show up with a piece of paper signed by me saying that you can go there. You need to make arrangements with the Clayton County Sheriff's Department. They will go with you, and they will make sure that no harm comes to you or anyone else at that residence, okay? So it's very important that you follow those directions, or guess what? You pick up more charges, and you could have your bond revoked. So if you enjoy your freedom, I would suggest that you pay close attention to those special conditions and not violate them. I'm also going to go over with you your next court date. Your next court date is what's called a preliminary hearing. A preliminary hearing is an evidentiary hearing. That is where you may present evidence. You can also discuss with your lawyer whether you want to have a hearing and question state witnesses, or if you want your lawyer to negotiate either a bond amount, bond condition, or if there is a negotiated plea that could potentially be entered into. Okay, but that is not today. If you have only misdemeanor charges, your preliminary hearing will be on January the 2nd, 2024 at 8:30. If you have all felonies or a mixture of misdemeanor charges and felony charges, your preliminary hearing will be on January the 17th at 8:30 a.m. Okay. Lastly, I will ask if you want to be considered for a court-appointed attorney or if you want to hire your own attorney. All of you should have been given a application for a court-appointed attorney, and if you fill that out, it will make this process go much quicker. If you did not fill it out, I can only assume that you want to hire your own attorney or represent yourself, which is not advisable because you will be held to the same standard as an attorney, including the rules of evidence and other local, state, and other evidentiary and procedural rules. Okay. Now, if you want to hire your own attorney and you're not able to do so by the time you have court next, you can always reapply for a court-appointed attorney. And if you say you want a court-appointed attorney, but later on you want to hire an attorney, that's okay as well. But you do not want to leave today's proceedings without letting me know whether you're going to hire one or be considered for court-appointed attorney. If you don't know, it's probably best to go ahead and apply for court-appointed attorney. I will review your application, and if you qualify, I will grant that request. Now, some common questions that are usually asked of me is about the bonding process. I do not control bonding companies or their process and how much they charge. I can tell you, as a practicing attorney for over a decade in the Clayton County area, most bonding companies charge somewhere between 10 and 20% of whatever your bond amount is. So for easy math purposes, if your bond is $1,000, a bonding company is typically going to charge somewhere between 10 and 20%. Now, there may be rules and regulations of who can pay that money, if it's an adult, how long have they lived in the state, and things like that. I don't know. But a good rule of thumb is somewhere between 10 and 20%. So on a $1,000 bond, it's somewhere between $100 and $200. Again, that is not the law. It's not set in stone, but those are general guidelines, okay? Also, let's see. OR bonds. If you know what an OR bond is, you probably wouldn't qualify for it. And if you don't know, then that's a good thing, which means that you've never been here before. I assume that everyone has already asked me for a OR bond or a recognizance bond. So you don't have to go through the trouble and ask me if I will give you one. I have already assumed that. So if you do not have an OR bond, please don't ask me for it because I assume that that's what you would want anyway, okay? Also, going back to your next court date, if you bond out of jail between now and your preliminary hearing date, you do not have to show up for that particular court date. So if you bond out of jail and it says, and I tell you your court date is January 2nd, you do not have to appear for January 2nd. You need to make sure that your address is an address where you can get mail, and then the clerk's office will mail you your next court date, which will most likely be an arraignment date. The same thing if your preliminary hearing is on January the 17th. If you bond out, you do not need to appear for that particular court date, but you will get notice of the mail for your next court date. Keep in mind that you still maintain all the rights that you would have as if you wanted to have a trial, which includes the right to remain silent, not say anything to incriminate yourself, the right to an attorney, the right to a speedy trial, and a right to confront witnesses. But also keep in mind, again, this is an informative hearing versus a evidentiary hearing. I will give you an opportunity to ask questions at the very end, but let me go through the information I need to go through with you. Make sure that you do not speak over me, because sometimes there is a delay between when I'm talking, when you get that information, and when you speak and when I get that information. So just make sure that I am done talking, and then I will ask you if you have any questions. But don't ask me questions about your particular case, because A, I'm not going to be able to help you, and B, I can't give you any legal advice, okay? So a lot of times people ask me questions about what they should do and what they shouldn't do, but I can't give you that legal advice. That'll be advice that you will want to seek from your attorney, all right? Now, before we begin, I just need everyone to participate by please raising your right hand. All right. Do you swear or affirm that the information that you state shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? You can state, I do. All right, and then we'll start with the interpreter cases first, and then once we're done with the interpreter cases, we'll go to the females, okay?
I'll bring the interpreter guys up first.
Spanish speaking individual. Who needs to interpret? Spanish. Come on, let's go, up front.
One, two.
All right, who do we have in front of us?
¿Quién tenemos enfrente?
Gabriel Galán Picasso.
Gabriel Galán Castro.
Picasso.
Picasso.
Okay.
Daniel Hernández.
Por favor, ¿podría usted repetir su nombre?
Daniel Hernández.
Daniel Hernández.
Okay.
Gracias.
Miss Bermudez, what was the name of the first individual?
Gabriel Galán Picasso.
Oh, Picasso. Oh, okay, got it. Okay, give me just a moment. Let me grab their paperwork very quickly. I have Mr. Hernandez. Let me grab the other one.
Judge, do you say Hernandez?
Yes, I have Mr. Daniel Hernandez's file.
Okay.
And then I'm grabbing Mr. Picasso's file.
Rangers. No Stanley.
Okay. We'll start with Mr. Picasso first.
Vamos a comenzar con el señor Picasso.
All right, sir, can you state your full name one more time, please?
Señor, ¿podría usted decir su nombre una vez más?
Gabriel Galán Picasso.
Gabriel Galán Picasso.
Okay. All right, Mr. Picasso, you were charged with one count misdemeanor of driving without a valid license.
Ok, señor, a usted se le acusa de un cargo por delito menor de manejar sin licencia de conducir,
I am going to set a bond of $1,000.
yo le voy a fijar una fianza de $1,000.
Are you going to be able to pay your bond?
¿Va usted a poder pagar su fianza?
Yo ya lo pagué desde ayer.
I already paid it from yesterday. Since
Okay.
yesterday.
Got it. So they're probably working on your paperwork, but you just came to me before they were able to get that completed.
Ellos probablemente están trabajando en la documentación, pero probablemente la razón por la que lo trajeron ante mí es porque no lo habían completado.
All right. In that case, do you have the right to court-appointed attorney, or you can hire your own? What would you like to do?
En este caso, usted tiene el derecho de tener un abogado de oficio o de contratarse su propio abogado. ¿Qué quiere usted hacer?
Pues, ¿qué recomiendan ustedes? Yo,
Well, what do you recommend?
Well, I can't give you legal advice, but with this charge, you could face up to 12 months in jail or $1,000 fine. So you probably would want to have a lawyer one way or another.
Yo no le puedo dar consejo legal, pero en este caso o con este cargo, usted está encarando una multa de hasta $1,000 y de hasta 12 meses en la cárcel. O sea que probablemente a usted debería de tener un abogado de una forma u otra.
¿cuál es el que me dijo? ¿Cuál y cuál?
What did you say? What
Well,
is that?
You can either hire your own attorney, or I can ask you a few questions, and if you qualify, we will get an attorney for you.
Usted puede contratarse su propio abogado o yo le puedo hacer algunas preguntas y si usted califica, le podríamos designar uno.
Ok. Hágame las preguntas.
Okay, ask me the questions.
Okay. Are you currently employed?
Actualmente, ¿está usted trabajando?
Sí.
Yes.
How much money do you make per month?
¿Cuánto gana usted por mes?
Como $5,000.
$5,000.
Are you currently married?
Actualmente, ¿está usted casado?
Sí.
Yes.
Do you have any children?
¿Tiene usted niños?
3.
3.
How many of them are younger than 18?
¿Cuántos de ellos son menores de 18 años?
2.
2.
Do you have a mortgage payment?
¿Tiene usted que pagar una hipoteca?
No. Pago
No.
renta.
¿Perdón?
Pago renta.
I pay a rent.
Okay, how much is that?
¿Cuánto paga?
$400 al mes.
$400 a month.
Okay, I'm going to, are you a citizen of the United States?
¿Es usted ciudadano estadounidense?
No.
No.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and appoint him a lawyer.
Yo voy a
So-
proceder y le voy a designar un abogado.
So they'll be in contact with you when you go to court next.
O sea que el abogado se va a poner en contacto con usted cuando usted vaya a la corte la próxima vez.
¿Cuándo va a ser la... pero ustedes me van a poner en libertad o...
Are they going to release me or?
Well, it's not up to me, but as long as you do not have anything to hold you in the jail, then yes, you will be released.
Esto no depende de mí, pero siempre y cuando usted no tenga nada que lo detenga en la cárcel, entonces sí lo pondría en libertad.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions?
¿Alguna otra pregunta?
No, todo está bien.
No.
Okay,
All is
all right, good luck to you.
Ok, buena suerte.
All right. All right, for Mr. Hernandez, that's on the docket. Give me just a moment. All right, Ms. Bermudez, can you ask him his name one more time, please?
Señor, ¿me podría usted dar su nombre?
Daniel Hernández.
Daniel Hernández.
Okay. And Mr. Hernandez, you are charged with one count of hit and run, which is a misdemeanor.
Señor Hernández, a usted se le acusa de un cargo de chocar y darse a la fuga, lo cual es un delito menor.
And also one count of driving without a valid license.
Y también un cargo de manejar sin licencia de conducir.
I am going to set a bond on both of those charges.
Yo le voy a asignar una fianza por cada uno de estos cargos.
For the hit and run, I am going to set a bond of $4,000.
Por el cargo de chocar y darse a la fuga, le voy a conceder una fianza de 4,000.
And for the no license, the bond is $1,000.
Y por no licencia, la fianza es de 1,000.
You do have the right to hire your own attorney,
Usted tiene el derecho de contratarse su propio abogado
or one can be appointed for you.
o uno le podría ser asignado.
What would you like to do?
¿Qué le gustaría hacer?
Puedo contratar a mi abogado, ¿cómo lo haría? ¿Cómo lo hago para contratar a un abogado?
I can hire my own attorney. How can I hire my own attorney?
Well, you would have to contact a lawyer and they would have to agree to represent you. But if you want, we can appoint you an attorney if you qualify.
Usted tendría que ponerse en contacto con el abogado y ellos tendrían que estar de acuerdo en representarlo. Pero si usted quiere, nosotros le pondríamos nombrar uno si usted califica.
Puedo pasar, comprobar a ver si califico.
Can I see if I can qualify?
Of course.
Seguro.
Are you currently employed?
Actualmente, ¿está usted empleado?
Sí, soy mecánico.
Yes, I'm a mechanic.
Okay. How much do you make per month?
¿Cuánto gana usted por mes?
No sé por mes, pero son 900 lo que soy semanal. Son...
¿Dijo 200 por semana?
No, 900.
900. I don't know how much that will be per month, but it's $900 per week.
Okay. Are you married?
¿Está usted casado?
No.
No.
Do you have any children?
¿Tiene usted niños?
No.
No.
Do you have a rent payment or a mortgage payment?
¿Tiene usted que hacer un pago por hipoteca o tiene usted que pagar renta?
Sí, pago una camioneta y la renta. Pero bueno, la renta le pago de mi papá, pero como quiera le pago a él.
Yes, I pay rent and I have to pay a pickup, but the rent I pay it to my father, but in any case, I pay rent.
Okay. And how much is that per month?
¿Y cuánto es eso por mes?
¿De la renta?
For rent?
Correct.
De la renta.
Correcto.
Bueno, yo le pago a mi papá 500 la renta.
Well, I pay my father $500 for rent.
Okay, I will go ahead and approve you for a court-appointed attorney.
Yo voy a proceder y le voy a designar un abogado de oficio.
Okay, your next court date is going to be on January the 17th.
Su próxima corte está programada para el día 17 de enero.
However, if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date.
Sin embargo, si usted paga su fianza y sale, usted no tiene que comparecer o no tiene que presentarse para esa corte.
¿Y la fianza la puedo pagar? Bueno, ¿cuándo se paga o cómo?
And the bond, I can pay it. And when can I pay it or how?
So you will either have to go through the sheriff's department, or you can contact a bonding company.
Usted puede ir y pagar a la comisaría o puede ponerse en contacto con una compañía de fianzas.
¿Y cuándo pago?
When do I pay it?
As soon as you can.
Tan pronto como pueda.
Ok. Entonces ahorita, ¿qué va a pasar conmigo ahorita?
So what is going to happen with me right now?
Well, you you have to either A, pay the bond through the sheriff's office and they can explain to you that process, or you or a family member has to contact a bonding company to see if you can bond out and pay that money.
Sería A, usted puede ponerse en contacto con la comisaría y ellos les pueden explicarle el proceso, o usted o un pariente puede ponerse en contacto con una compañía de fianza y ver cómo usted le puede pagar a ellos ese dinero.
Ok. Pero entonces me van a soltar, bueno, voy a salir libre o ¿cómo?
So are they going to release me or?
If your bond is paid and you do not have anything that will hold you in the jail, then yes, they'll release you.
Si su fianza está pagada y usted no tiene nada que lo detenga en la cárcel, entonces sí lo pondrían en libertad.
Algo como qué, más o menos, como que.
Something like what?
I don't understand the question.
Yo no entiendo la pregunta.
Bueno, pero puedo llamar a un familiar, mi papá, ¿lo puedo llamar?
Then I can call a family member. Can I call my father?
I don't control that. That's something that you have to ask the sheriff's department.
Eso no es algo que yo controlo, eso es algo que usted tiene que tratarlo con la comisaría.
Ok.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions?
¿Alguna otra pregunta?
No, solo era eso.
No, that's all.
Okay. All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Okay, buena suerte, señor.
Any other inmates that need interpretation services?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ms. Bermudez.
You're very welcome, Judge. It's good to see you.
Good to see you. Take care. All right. Let's get the females.
Back on the wall.
Right here, hands on it.
All those ladies come up. Y'all go sit on the bench. Same order. Slide all the way down.
Good morning, Judge. Just before you get started with this, young, she wrote refused on her CAA form, but would like to go over the form with you because she didn't understand. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Give me just a moment. I was rearranging some things, but we'll address it as we get it. Ma'am, what is your name?
Keita Berry.
Okay, Miss Berry. Miss Berry, you're on the job. So, Miss Berry, some people were doing the old school way and have paperwork, and some people were doing the other way. Oh, if y'all can hear me at the jail, Mr. Hernandez needs to sign via JOTS, please.
He did, sir.
Oh, okay, perfect. Very good. All right, Miss Berry, we have some paperwork and then we have online stuff. So you bear with us and we will get you taken care of. Okay.
No problem.
Okay. All right, Miss Berry, you are charged with one count of improper lane change, which is a misdemeanor. The bond is going to be $500. You are charged with one misdemeanor count of too fast for conditions. The bond is $500. It's a misdemeanor. One misdemeanor count of following too closely. The bond is $500. One misdemeanor count of driving without a valid license. That bond is going to be $1,500, and one count misdemeanor of driving under the influence, the bond is going to be $5,000. Okay, so I need to go over here very quickly to the screen. Now, your total bond is going to be 5, 6, 7, 8. Your total bond is $8,000. Okay. Now you have all misdemeanors, so your next court date is going to be on January 2nd at 8:30 a.m. and that's going to be virtually. Now that is if you do not bond out of jail. If you bond out of jail, then you do not need to appear for that court date. Okay. Give me just a moment. I'm going to put these numbers in here. Now you do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
Court appointed.
Okay. And did you have some questions about the court appointed attorney form?
No, sir, no.
Oh, okay. All right.
I put the wrong thing on. I want to refill it out.
Oh, I see. Okay. Give me just a moment. I'm doing the paperwork and I'm doing it online at the same time for you that way. Let's see. Okay. All right, give me just a second. Miss Barry, are you currently employed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And approximately how much money do you make per month? Or year?
25.
25 what?
2,500 a month.
Okay. And do you have any children?
Yes, one.
Okay. Over or under the age of 18?
Just turned 18.
Okay. And have you ever served in the United States military?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Okay, I am going to approve your request for a court-appointed attorney. All right. Again, if you bond out of jail, you do not need to appear for on the January 2nd court date. All right, summary, I think we've got everything. Do you have any questions about your case?
I do. I'm a little taken back by the DUI. That information was never presented for me. Now, I did the blow test. I did 2 of them.
Well, hey, Miss Berry, remember what I said earlier about telling me the facts of your case?
Okay.
You don't want to, yeah, I understand. Well, you don't want to do that right now. You'll have an opportunity to do that, but I understand that you may not, this isn't where you're going to get all the evidence against you. This is more of information, okay? But you will have an opportunity to review what's called your discovery packet later on down the road. It's just not at this opportunity, okay? So it'll probably make more sense to you later on down the road.
All right.
Okay. All right. Other than that, do you have any other questions?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, Miss Berry. Well, then you are good to go. And they'll have you, if you have not already, they'll get you to sign for it on the computer because she needs to sign on the computer as well.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. Next. What is your name, ma'am?
Okay, sure, I guess.
Oh, last name Enriquez. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me just a moment. Ms. Enriquez, you have, well, it's not really a co-defendant, but Mr. Parham was also taken into custody. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. At first, my immediate thought was to dismiss because I thought you guys got into it with each other, but then I saw his charges are a little bit different from yours. But anyway, give me just a second. I'm gonna get your paperwork. There we go. And then, how do you say your first name?
Acacia.
Acacia. Okay, got it. Just make sure I get it correct. All right, ma'am, you are charged with 1 count of simple battery. The bond is $1,500. It is a misdemeanor. Now, you do have a special condition to stay away at least until your case is resolved or until the bond is modified to stay away from Mr. Parham, okay? With that being the case, do y'all stay together or not stay together?
We do stay together.
Okay. And then the incident where this happened, whose residence is that?
Both of ours. Both of our names are on the deed.
Got it.
Yeah.
That presents not so pleasant outcome for you, because I have to order, and I do this for everybody. It's not just you, it's nothing personal, but to not return back to that address for the time being until your bond is modified or your case is resolved and you can go back there, okay? However, I am putting in the order that you can go back, and if you need to get any personal belongings from that residence, then you're allowed to do so, but you just need to make sure that you take the Clayton County Sheriff's Office with you. So there are two ways that you can get your stuff, right? You can have someone go to that residence and get any belongings that you need on your behalf. Now, as long as they're not, causing a disturbance and things like that, or you personally can go and get your stuff, but you have to do it accompanied by the sheriff's office. That's to protect you, and that's to protect anybody else in the household, because we don't want any other flare-ups between yourself and Mr. Parham. Okay. Now, your next court date is going to be on January the 2nd. But if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. Are you going to be able to make your bond?
Well, that's a situation that he's kind of handling on his part, because I don't have family here. I'm here with him.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Um,
His mom is, whenever he finds out his bond and stuff, hopefully he can get out before I do, and then the situation go from there.
I see. Well, I'll tell you, his particular case, I'm dismissing. Now, he has different charges than you, right? It's completely different, but I'm dismissing the charges against him because I didn't find that there was enough evidence to establish it. Now, I'm going to tell him the same thing. They could bring those charges back, maybe not, but he wasn't accused of doing anything to you. He was just accused of not doing what the officer said. And that's a different level of scrutiny. That's a different level to look at, okay? And again, this doesn't mean that you're guilty of anything. It just means that there's enough evidence to proceed, okay? So I don't want you to think that I am treating you any different than anybody else, okay? But he'll get that information. I don't know if he can hear me or not. But here's the thing, I will say this, just be cautious, because again, you do have to stay away from him. Now, you don't have to stay away from his mom. You can contact his mom all you want to, okay?
He has the number. I don't know her number.
I got you. I understand, but I'm just trying to be as clear as possible. Like, if she reaches out to you, that's okay. But even if he reaches out to you, that's, the provision ain't on him. The provision is on you. So okay. I'm just saying it can get very dicey in these types of situations. Okay.
Yes,
Now, let's see. Do you want to be considered for a court appointed attorney, or do you want to hire your own attorney?
Could I think a little bit more on that?
Well, here's the thing. You have about 10 seconds to make that decision. So again, I can't give you legal advice. But I mean, even misdemeanors can end you up in jail. So if there are any doubts, what I like to do to protect you is consider you for a court-appointed attorney. And if you change your mind down the road, then that's fine. You can do that. You don't have to stick with a court-appointed attorney if you don't want to, but you definitely don't want to represent yourself.
Okay, so go ahead and do that then.
Okay. Are you currently employed?
No.
Okay, got it. Do you have any children?
No.
Okay. And are you legally married?
No.
Okay. Have you ever served in the U.S. military?
No.
All right, I just needed to ask you those questions. I am going to put down that you are approved for a court-appointed attorney, okay? Again, if you change your mind later on down the road, that's fine. Do you have any questions about your case?
No, sir.
Okay, and just, I don't know if I put it on the record, but the address is 766 Cascade Drive. But again, it's in here. If you need to go get your stuff, you can, okay? All right, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, all right, good luck to you, man. Next.
How you doing?
Hello, good morning. What is your name, ma'am?
Octavia Gilbert.
All right, Miss Gilbert, give me just a moment, okay? Let's see if you're on the paper version. Okay. All right, Ms. Gilbert, you were charged with one misdemeanor count of simple assault, okay? That, again, it's a misdemeanor. I am going to grant a bond of $2,000, okay? You do have a special condition to not have any contact with Mark Xavier Williams, okay? And then also to not return back. Well, let me ask you this, okay? Who is that to you?
We're married.
I'm sorry?
We're married.
Got it. Okay, so I know that you were paying attention earlier, and so sometimes these types of situations put me in an uncomfortable situation to relay information to you. But just like I told that other young lady, you know, I can't have y'all together right now because for one reason or another, y'all aren't getting along, even if it was a one-time thing. I don't want anything bad to happen to you. I don't want anything bad to happen to him or the community at large. So I have to put in the order to not go back to that address. However, if you need to get some belongings and stuff until either your case is resolved and you can go back, or your bond is modified to where you can go back, then I am putting that in that order. So there are two ways that you can get your stuff. You can either A, have someone get your belongings for you, so long as they don't make a scene, or B, you can go there, but you have to be accompanied by Clayton County Sheriff's Office, okay? And that's to protect you and that's to protect everyone else in the community, because we don't want any other issues. Now, your next court date is going to be on January the 2nd, but if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. Are you going to be able to make your bond? Okay, very good. Now, you do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
Court appointed.
Okay, give me just a second. Okay. All right, I will grant your request for a court-appointed attorney. Ms. Gilbert, do you have any questions about your case?
Why was the bond set so high?
I mean, it's actually low. I mean, if you do like a bond of anything like $100 or $200, bonding companies won't even do anything. So it's actually in line with just about everything else of these types of cases. And we don't do reconnaissance bonds on domestic violence situations. Now, I'm not saying it's the most serious thing in the world, you know what I mean? But in those types of situations, we don't do that. All right. Any other questions?
That's right.
Okay. All right. Good luck to you. Okay. What's your name?
Alicia Hilton.
Okay. Miss Hilton. Just a moment. I know I had your form here somewhere. The person, did you fill out a court-appointed attorney form? Yeah, I have it. Just a second. All right, let me go over this first. All right, Ms. Hilton, you are charged with one misdemeanor count of voiding or prowling. The bond is $1,000. One misdemeanor count of.
You talking too fast.
Sure. You are charged with one count of loitering or prowling, which is a misdemeanor. The bond is $1,000. One misdemeanor count of obstruction of an officer. The bond.
Question?
Not until I'm done. Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
you'll have an opportunity, but just wait till I'm finished, okay?
Oh, okay.
All right. One count of obstruction of an officer, the misdemeanor version, the bond is $1,000. One misdemeanor count of simple battery on an officer, the bond is going to be $2,000. And then one felony count of terroristic threats, the bond is going to be $3,000. So your total bond is going to be $7,000. Okay. Now, your next court date is going to be on January the 17th, but if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that particular court date. Here's your court-appointed form. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do about an attorney?
Got my own.
Okay. Do you know that person's name or not yet?
Mm-hmm.
What's the attorney's name?
Mike Malou.
Okay. And have you spoken with Mr. Maloof already?
No.
Okay. All right, that's fine. Just make sure you're in contact with him about your case and he'll know what to do. He's very familiar with the process. Now, if you have a question, remember what I told you. Don't ask me about your charges and things like that. Because if you start talking about your case, I'm not going to let you finish. Okay?
I'm
But
not,
what's your question?
I don't even know what loitering is.
Well, unfortunately, ignorance of the law is not a defense, but you can talk to Mr. Maloof about that because he's going to be the one that's going to strategize with you and go over defenses and go over the discovery packet with you. Okay? Any other questions?
No.
Okay. All right. Good luck to you, Ms. Hilton. Next. All right. What is your name, ma'am?
Brianna Owen.
Okay, give me just a moment.
She might have to.
Miss Holland.
Yeah, she got some.
Okay, Miss Holland, you are on the new system as well. So, Miss Holland, who is Mr. Tyrone Holland to you?
My brother.
Got it. Okay. All right. Miss Holland, you are charged with one misdemeanor count of criminal trespass. I am gonna set, excuse me, I am gonna set a bond in that case of $1,500. Okay. Now, you do have a special condition to not have any contact with Miss Chantel Holland. Okay. It's my understanding is that your mother? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, got it. So just don't have any contact with her until your case is resolved or your bond is changed. Your bond conditions are changed. Now, do you live at the address where this happened?
Yes.
Okay. Because you didn't fill out, is that the Amelia Lane address?
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Well, I'm sure you've heard well, anyway. Okay, do not return back to that address. However, if you need to get your belongings, you can do so. I'm putting it in order that you can go with the Clayton County Sheriff's Office to get any belongings that you need, or you can have someone get your belongings until your case is either resolved or the bond conditions are changed. Okay. So,
She still have my kids.
I'm sorry.
She still have my kids. My kids are there as we speak.
Well, there's no, I didn't say you couldn't have contact with your children.
No, I'm saying as far as like to get my kids and stuff.
I can't really give you legal advice, but you know, there are ways to get belongings and children. Like there's either a mutual friend or somebody that can pick them up or bring them to you or something like that. Or, you know, I would suggest getting with the sheriff's office as quickly as you can and then going out with them and getting them. I mean, there's ways of doing things without having any contact, if that makes sense. Okay. Oh, hold on a second. I need to update this to include that you can go back. All right. Now, your next court date, like I said, is going to be on January the 2nd. However, if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that particular court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for an appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
Neither.
Well, what are you going to do about a lawyer?
I don't want one.
I'm sorry?
I do not want one
Why?
because I don't want one.
Well, are you an attorney yourself?
No, I'm just
Okay.
refusing.
Okay, well, you need to leave here with an attorney one way or another because, I mean, look, you have the right to represent yourself. I don't think that's a good idea because you don't know the law, you don't know the procedures, you don't know the rules, you don't know anything. And the state is you're going to be dealing with people who are going to be prosecuting you. They are not your friends. They're not there to help you. They are there to recommend some type of punishment for these acts. And you don't know whether you have any legal defenses or not. So I'm going to give you an opportunity. Now, if you tell me again that you don't want a lawyer and I've made you aware of all of these things, then that's fine. I'm not gonna twist your arm to do what's in your best interest. So are you sure you don't want a lawyer?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Well, then I will not appoint one for you. Now you're more than welcome to go out and hire someone if you ever see fit to it, but that's fine. All right. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, give me just a second because you have to sign for this electronically. Okay, I've done so. All right, Miss Holland, you're good to go. Good luck to you. All right, what is your name?
Alicia Jackson.
All right. Jackson. Give me just a moment. All right, Miss Jackson, you were charged with one misdemeanor count of battery. The bond is going to be $2,500, and then one misdemeanor count of criminal trespass. The bond is going to be $1,500. So your total bond is $4,000. Now you do have a special condition to not have any contact with Maria Rodriguez. Okay. Until your case is either resolved or your bond conditions have changed. Your next court date is going to be on January the 2nd. However, if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
Court-appointed attorney.
Okay. Very good. Let me see here. All right. You filled out your application. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. I will grant that request for you. Do you have any questions?
How much is my total bond again?
The total bond is going to be $4,000.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Good luck to you, Ms. Jackson.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Mhm.
For Holland, it's not accepting her signature on Jots.
Okay. Give me just a moment. Let me go back. Give me just a moment. Has everyone else worked so far? Let's see. This.
It's not accepting her signature.
I'll bring it to her.
Order for bond, that one's done. CAA form, that one's done. Summary, okay, denied pro se, review and sign, sign documents. If it cannot, no documents are ready, okay, hold on, let me select all. It looks like I have signed it. Yep, I signed the first appearance order. I signed the CAA application. I mean, I send out all the documents physically as well. So this may be one that she needs to physically sign, but I'll send hers out physically as well. But it looks like everything is signed on my end.
So you see her signature on your end?
I do not see her signature on my end.
Okay, it's just not accepting it. I mean, she's signing it, but it's not accepting it.
I got you. Well then, she may have to wait for the physical copy, but it'll be in the batches that I send.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And we have one more. We have Perez. What is your name, ma'am?
Jocelyn Perez.
Okay. Ms. Perez, you were charged with just two driving offenses, one misdemeanor count of driving without a valid license, and then one stop sign violation. Gonna set a bond of $1,500 on one and $500 on the other. So your total bond is $2,000. Are you gonna be able to make your bond?
Yes.
Okay. Have you already posted one or just not yet?
What was that?
I said, have you already contacted? I can't speak. Have you already contacted someone about your bond or no?
No, not yet.
Okay, all right. So the total bond is 2,000. Your next court date is on January the 2nd, but if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date, okay?
Okay.
You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
Court.
Okay, that's fine. All right, are you currently employed?
Not at the moment. I was
Got it.
this week.
Got it, okay. And then are you married?
No,
Do you have any children?
no,
And have you ever served in the United States military?
no.
Okay, I will grant that request for a court-appointed attorney. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, all right, good luck to you, Ms. Perez.
Get the guys. You do now.
Everybody except Holland.
Everybody but Holland.
When I bring you guys back to Go ahead, all ladies.
You're right.
Hello, all right, we've got the, you're a little bit too tall for the camera, but what's your name, sir?
Clayton Armstrong.
Okay, Mr. Armstrong, you are on the JOT system, so I'm gonna do the physical paperwork as well as the online paperwork, okay? So give me just a second. All right, so you are charged with one count of hit and run, which is the, let me see, misdemeanor version. So let me make sure that I have this correct. I do. Your next court date is going to be, I am going to set a bond of $3,000. Your next court date is going to be on January the 2nd of 2024. But if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that particular court date. Now, you do have the right to hire an attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do about an attorney?
I'd like to seek my own counsel.
Okay, do you have someone in mind or not yet?
Not yet.
Okay, no problem. That is not an issue. Give me just a second. Let me make sure I have the bond online for you, correct, so everything matches up. And then I will put on your application that you want to hire your own attorney. All right. I'm going to sign it over here. All right, looks like it's saved. All right, Mr. Armstrong, do you have any questions about your case?
Not at the moment.
Okay, all right, Mr. Armstrong, they're going to try and get you to sign on the computer. If it lets you, that's good. If not, it's okay. I'm physically going to send in the documents. So one way or another, we'll get your signature acknowledging the bond conditions, okay? All right, good luck to you, sir.
Good day.
Ain't going to
Yep. Downstairs. Go up on the computer. Right here. We'll talk to the judge. Then we take this home.
Hey,
What's your name?
Push back on the wall.
Jeremiah, how you doing, sir?
Good. Are you Mr. Brown? You're Mr. Jeremiah Brown, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Brown, you were charged with one misdemeanor count of loitering. The bond is 1,000, and one misdemeanor count of obstruction. The bond is 1,000. So your total bond is $2,000. You do have a special condition to not return back to 5280 Riverdale Road. Your next court date is going to be on January the 2nd. And you do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
just do my time and take my time with this.
Oh, I see. I see. But what do you want to do about an attorney? Do you want a court-appointed attorney or hire your own attorney?
However the process is the best for me.
Well, I mean, only you know that question, right? So, I mean, I can see if you qualify for a court-appointed attorney, or do you have money to hire an attorney or no?
No.
Okay, then it's probably, we'll consider you for a court-appointed attorney. Are you currently employed?
I was, not no more.
Got it. Are you legally married?
I was, not no more.
Do you have any children? I'm sorry, is that a yes or a no?
Yes.
How many children under the age of 18?
7.
Okay, and then have you ever served in the U.S. military before?
Yes, sir.
You said yes? Okay. All right, so I'm going to grant you a court-appointed attorney, and I'm also going to mark your paperwork for possible veterans court. I believe we still have that going on, so I'll mark that for you, okay? All right, Mr. Brown, do you have any other questions?
No, and I'm gonna try to come up with the $2,000 and just put it on the board and have it here to get through on here and however it go to work things out in the best of my ability.
Okay. All right. Well, good luck to you, sir.
All right, thank you.
All right. What's your name, sir?
Marcus Butler.
Mr. Butler. Let's see if you're on the new system or not. Nope. You're on the old system. Okay, cool. All right, Mr. Butler. Oh, give me just a second. Mr. Butler, you can look at this as either your lucky day or your somewhat lucky day. I'm dismissing both of the charges against you. Now, did you hear what I said earlier about dismissing charges and they could possibly come back?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not going to tell anybody to bring them back, and that's not my job. My job is to be impartial. Fair to you, fair to law enforcement. But they didn't say what you brought. They just said that you brought something and you shouldn't have. I don't know what that means. It could be gummy bears, it could be teddy bears. I have no idea. So because they didn't do that, I'm dismissing the case against you. Again, whether they bring it back or not, I have no idea. Okay.
Right,
but they'll be able to see why I dismissed the case. Do you have any questions about your case?
Well, I'm doing weekend jail. Like, I want to know, does this, like, when I get out, do I just continue my weekend jail or?
I mean, look, the thing is, I'm dismissing this. So this again, if they don't bring the charges back, then you just go back to how it was before these charges ever existed. Now, you know, if anything, again, if they bring them back, then you're going to have to readdress this whole situation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but I would say, you know, for whatever reason, just don't get yourself in any more trouble. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Butler.
I appreciate it.
All right. What's your name, sir?
Jordan Collins, sir.
Oh, let me see here. Oh, Mr. Collins. I got you on the new system, so give me just a second.
Yes, sir.
All right. It's going to take me a second with you, Mr. Collins, but I'm going to do it the shortest way possible, okay?
Yes, sir.
So you are charged with a whole lot of driving offenses and then some other stuff. I'm dismissing a lot of the charges against you because they didn't tell me what road you're driving on. They didn't tell me where some of these things happened. So I'm dismissing a lot of them against you, okay? So
Yes, sir.
I'm only going to go over the charges that are not being dismissed, okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, remember what I said, these charges may come back later on down the road. I'm not going to tell anybody to bring those charges against you. That's not my job. My job is to play it down the middle. But just know that once a prosecutor reads this, they may be like, oh yeah, we're going to charge him with this or whatever, okay?
Yes, sir.
But as of right now, I'm getting rid of them. So the charge that are not being dismissed is 1 misdemeanor count of obstruction. Let me see here. Where's your bond? Oh, here it is. 1 misdemeanor count of obstruction. The bond is going, and that's warrant ending in 26. That bond is going to be 3,000. 1 looks like felony violation of Georgia Controlled Substances Act. That's warrant ending in 27. The bond is 4,000. Did I dismiss 22? Give me a second. 22 I'm dismissing. Okay. Warrant ending in 332, which is fleeing and eluding. The bond is 3,000. Warrant ending in 333, which is altering the identification of a vehicle. The bond is 1,000. Warrant ending in 337, which is driving on the wrong side of the roadway. The bond is 500. Warrant ending in 340, reckless driving. The bond is 3,000. And then warrant ending in 344, driving without a valid license. The bond is 1,500. So, oh, it logged me out. So, Mr. Collins, if you be patient with me, sir.
Thank you for giving me a bond, sir.
Of course. Well, you know, most of these, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, these are not as serious as they could be, but the actions are pretty serious. So, you know, you just have to be very, you know, cautious and careful with what you do. And again, I did time as a prosecutor for over 3 years in Clayton County. So again, I'm not going to tell anybody, but don't be shocked if later on down the road you see more charges, okay?
All right.
So your total bond, let me go over your total bond. 3 + 4 is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15,500. Now that's assuming that I did my math correctly. You'll get a copy of this, okay? So
Sure.
your math may be better than mine. That's why I became a lawyer, so I don't have to do math.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Now your next court date is going to be on January the 17th. But if you bond out, you do not have to appear for your preliminary hearing, okay?
Yes, sir.
You do have the right to a court-appointed attorney, or you can hire your own attorney. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna take a court appointed for the time being, but I'm definitely gonna get a paid lawyer for this situation.
Okay, understood. Well, I did court-appointed work too. Just know that they get paid as well. They ain't doing it for free.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I understand what you mean. I understand what
you know, just try to be protected, you know.
I understand.
Yes, sir.
All right. Give me just oh geez. You have so many charges.
I'm trying to make it on to my kids, sir. Man.
I understand. I get it. All right. So give me just a second. I need to do my thing. I'm okay with awkward silence, but sometimes other people are not. So from 2 to all the way down to 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 5 are being dismissed.
Thank you so much.
Well, it's not, you know, it's nothing personal on either side. I just have to do what I believe is the right thing to do. Whether you like it or law enforcement likes it, I have to be fair to both sides. Come on. Okay. Six is not dismissed. 2, 7 is not dismissed. Okay. So 2-8 all the way down to 3-1. Okay, so dismiss,
We doing the order?
dismiss, dismiss. 3-1 is dismissed. 3-2, that one stays. 3-3, that one stays.
Oh, this one that took a good charge.
3-4, just hold tight.
So
All the way down. The next one is 4-0, so everything up to 4-0 is dismissed. So 4-0 stays, 4-1 is dismissed. 2-4-3 is dismissed. I have those. Mr. Collins, are you going to be able to make your bond, sir?
sir, immediately. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Immediately. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I like the confidence, Mr. Collins.
I just got people that love me. That's it.
No, that's not a bad thing, sir.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. All right. I think I have that part done. So now I just need to enter your bond amounts. Make sure that is done correctly. Order for bond. Okay, there. Oh, this makes it easy. That's good. Okay, so this should be 4-0. Wait, what? Oh, giving it to me backwards. Okay. 4-0 is 3,000. Okay. What's this? This one is 3-3. Good thing is, Mr. Collins, this will add it up for me, so you and I don't even really need to do that math. Okay. 4,000. 3,000. And then 4-4. 15. Blah, 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 blah. Other stipulations. Mr. Collins, I'm going to put as part of your bond that you do not drive a vehicle without having a valid driver's license, okay?
Yes, sir. I don't even want to drive no more, sir. I ain't gonna lie. I'll catch me an Uber. Catch me an Uber.
I mean, yeah, or do whatever it is that you need to do to get your license straight. That also works.
Yeah, you're right.
But I understand. All right. And then you said you did want a court appointed. That's fine. I'll approve that. Save. Okay. Summary should have everything. Review and sign. All right. Total bond is 15,500. I think that's what I told you. So that's good. All right.
Yeah. 2,000. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I believe I have done everything correct, Mr. Collins. So they'll have you sign off on the computer. Now I've got to physically make a dismissal order and stuff like that. So give me a little bit of time to get your paperwork processed because I got to do everybody else's as well. Okay. Other than that, do you have any questions?
No, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right, Mr. Collins. Please don't come back.
Yes, sir.
You gotta sign.
All right.
You gotta sign.
Sign later.
Yes. Good morning.
All right. Good morning. What is your name?
Eduardo Cruz Gonzalez.
All right. All right, Mr. Cruz, you're just charged with one count of driving without a valid license. It is a misdemeanor. The bond is going to be $1,000. Give me just a second. Oh, Mr. Collins had a whole bunch of court applications. I don't know why. Okay, the bond is $1,000. Are you going to be able to make your bond?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Then your next court date is going to be on January the 2nd, but if you make your bond, you do not have to appear for that court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
Excuse me, I can hear.
Oh, do you want to hire your own attorney or do you want a court-appointed attorney?
Oh, I'm not sure. I don't know what I mean.
Do you want to hire your own lawyer or do you want to have a court lawyer?
Oh, the court lawyer for sure. The court lawyer for sure. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
got it. Okay, give me just a second. Okay. Yes, okay. Is okay, I will grant you the court appointed attorney. Just a moment.
Yes, sir.
Make sure I have everything squared away in here. CAA form is good. Save. Sign. Okay, I have approved you for a court-appointed attorney. Do you have any questions?
No, sir. I'm good.
Okay. All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right. What is your name?
Angel Carmona.
All right, Mr. Carmona. All right, so you were charged with one count of having unlawful blue lights, misdemeanor. That bond is $1,000. Violation of Georgia Controlled Substances Act, looks like felony count, the bond is $3,000. Possession of marijuana, looks like misdemeanor, the bond is $2,500, and then possession of a weapon during the commission of a crime, the bond is $3,000. So your total bond is 3 + 3 = 6, 7, 8, 9, $9,500. Okay. You do have the right to hire an attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
Court appointed.
Okay, and then your next court date is going to be on January the 17th, but if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. All right, are you currently employed?
No, sir.
Okay, are you legally married?
No, sir.
Do you have any children?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, then I will grant your request for a court-appointed attorney. All right. Do you have any questions about your case?
How much would it be for, is it 10% I gotta pay?
It's somewhere between 10 and 20%. That's not a rule, but that's just kind of like a guideline.
All right.
Okay, anything else?
Nah, that's it.
Okay, all right, good luck to you,
Thank you,
sir. Mhm. What's your name?
Jacob Croft.
All right, Mr. Croft.
Gonna make sure you good.
Mr. Croft, you were charged with one count of reckless conduct. That's the felony version. The bond is going to be $4,000, and then one misdemeanor count of obstruction. The bond is $1,000. So your total bond is $5,000. Your next court date is going to be on January the 17th. However, if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
A court appointed.
Okay. I will grant that request for you, Mr. Croft. Do you have any questions about your case?
No, sir.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Croft. All right, what's your name, sir?
Ron Holland.
Mr. Holland, you are here with your sister, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, Mr. Holland, you are charged with one misdemeanor count of criminal trespass. I'm giving you the same bond as her, $1,500. Now, you are to not have any contact with Chantel Holland. I understand that that is at least her mom. I'm sure, I don't know if that's your mom, but I assume it is. Do you stay at the residence or no?
Yes, it's my mom's house.
Okay. So the same thing that I told your sister is you can't go back to that residence, but you can go back if you need to get any belongings. Just make sure that you go with the Clayton County Sheriff's Office, okay? Now, or you can have somebody that's not your sister go and get your stuff for you until your case is either resolved or the bond conditions are changed, okay? Your next court date is going to be on January the 2nd. But if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. Do you want, now you have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do? Okay, give me just a moment because I've got to put this information on our online. Order for bond. Okay. All right, Mr. Holland, I have approved you for a court-appointed attorney. Do you have any questions about your case?
Sure.
All right, good luck to you, sir. All right, what's your name, sir?
Johnny.
Mr. Humphrey, you are charged with Mr. Humphrey, you are charged with one misdemeanor count of possession of marijuana. The bond is $1,000. One misdemeanor count of driving under the influence. The bond is $5,000. One misdemeanor count of violation of seatbelt. Well, not wearing a seatbelt. The bond is $500. One. Let me see. I think this is a misdemeanor count of possession of drug-related objects. The bond is $1,000. Following too closely, the bond is $500. Driving without a license, misdemeanor, the bond is $1,000. Possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, the bond is $4,000. And violation of Georgia Controlled Substances Act, the bond is $3,000. So your total bond is 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 16. If I did this correctly, your total bond is $16,000. Your next court date is going to be on January the 17th. But if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
I am my own attorney.
Okay. You said you want to hire your own attorney?
I have an attorney. I have an attorney already.
Okay, what's their name?
Daryl Scott, my Lexington law firm.
Okay, I got you. All right. Do you have any questions about your case?
Yes, sir. I do got a question about it.
Okay.
And I just came from doing 2.5 years in Wright Street. And,
Okay, so what's your question?
the warrant, it's saying it's a warrant for Wright Street, but I just got finished doing it at that time, and it's still showing that. Now it's like showing I got a warrant, but I just did the time, and it's like it's not. It's still showing up on the screen, basically. So that's when I bought it.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I mean, Mr. Humphrey, there's nothing I can do about that. Like, I can't investigate that. That's something that you and Mr. Scott are going to have to talk about and get that cleared up. Sometimes Fulton County is not the greatest about getting those things resolved. So you'll just need to speak with him on getting that cleared if that's what it is. Because I don't know if that's a new charge, old charge, or what. I have no idea. You know what I'm saying? So you'll just need to talk to him about that, okay?
Okay. I got one more question.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm being charged. I'm a felon. I know I'm a felon, but I'm being charged with possession of firearm when there was no firearm on me, there was no firearm around me, like in the vehicle or on me, okay, never mind.
Yeah, remember what I said, because this is being broadcast. So again, your best friend in this situation is going to be your attorney, because you can go over defenses and things like that with them. Unfortunately, I can't help you. So save it for him, okay? Anything else?
Yeah, that's
all right, Mr. Humphreys. Good luck to you.
We're gonna dig it out.
All right, what's your name?
I'm Selmo in this.
Oh. All right, sir, you're charged with 1 felony count of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. The bond is $4,000. 1 misdemeanor possession of marijuana. The bond is $1,000. 1 misdemeanor count of possession of drug-related objects. The bond is $1,000. 1 red light or traffic control device violation. The bond is $500. And 1 looks like hands-free device violation misdemeanor. The bond is $1,000. So your total bond is going to be $7,500. Okay. Now your next court date is going to be on January the 17th. However, if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
Court-appointed.
Okay. I will grant that request for you. Do you have any questions? All right, good luck to you, sir.
Next. Come on.
What's your name, sir?
My name is Omar Lawman, sir.
Mr. Larman, you are charged with, let me make sure, okay. You're charged with 1 count of felony aggravated assault. I am going to grant a bond of $8,000. You are not to have any contact with, I don't know how you say the first names, but I'm going to spell it. Sion Chisholm. Let's see. Okay. Also, do not return back to the 5593 Rock Shoals Way address. However, if you need to get any belongings from there, then you can. Either you can go with the Clayton County Sheriff's Office and they'll go there to make sure that nothing happens to you and nothing happens to anyone else at that residence, or you can have somebody get your stuff and bring it to you, as long as they don't make a scene at the residence, okay? And that's in force until your case is resolved and says that you can go back, or until your bond conditions are modified, okay? Now, your next court date is going to be on January the 17th. However, if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that particular court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
Court-appointed attorney, sir.
Okay. Give me just a second. All right, I will grant that request for you, sir. Do you have any questions about your case?
Not really about my case. I just wanted to say one thing. My wife, she doesn't make as much money as I do, so would it be possible if I still could pay the bills to the house? I don't have to see her, but can I still pay my bills there? So
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Kids?
Yeah, of course. Like there's not a no contact for you and your kids. And, you know, again, like you said, like you can pay your bills online or phone or mail or check or whatever the case may be. That's fine. But what, you know, things that we're trying to avoid is like intimidating witnesses and things like that. That's what we're trying to avoid here. Okay.
I understand, sir. Thank you.
All right. Good luck, sir.
Thank you. You enjoy your day.
All right. What's your name, sir?
Yeah, it's Morgan, sir.
All right, so you are charged with one misdemeanor count of simple battery. The bond is 2,000. Oh, I'm sorry, 2,500. One misdemeanor count of criminal trespass. The bond is 2,000, and then one let me see, felony count of terroristic threats. The bond is 4,500. So your total bond is going to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plus 500. That's 9. So total bond is $9,000. Now, you do have special conditions of your bond to not have any contact with Ashante Washington and Roshandra Belcher. Also, do not return back to the 2951 Fielder Way address. If you need your belongings there, then you can have someone get them, or you can go back with the Clayton County Sheriff's Office, okay?
Sir, that's my wife. Like,
I understand that, but the thing is, something happened. You know, I'm not saying that you're guilty of this, but something happened to where the police had to get involved. And, you know, we don't want her to end up on, we don't want you to end up on the news because you've done something irrational to her, and we don't want her to do something irrational to you. So this is not something that is unique to just your case. This is every single case where it involves two people who cannot get along, police get involved, and there's some allegations of violence that happen. Now, this is only in effect, hold on, let me finish, okay? This is only in effect until either A, your case is resolved, right? And once your case is done, then you can have contact with whoever you want to, so long as this is not part of your sentence. Or B, you through your lawyer file what's called a bond modification motion, and then your lawyer can go in front of another judge and argue and present evidence on why these bond conditions are too strict or not necessary, okay? But again, I'm very limited in my ability to investigate and do things of that nature, so I have to put something in place that not only protects you, but it protects those other people as well. Now, I'm not saying that people like it. Some people don't like it, and that's unfortunate, but you know, it's don't get yourselves in these types of situations, and I don't have to do these things. Okay.
She's the one to put money in my book. So like she's sending messages on the kiosk. So.
Okay, listen, here's the thing. The restriction is on you, not on her, right? So if she communicates to you, that's probably not the wisest thing on her behalf, but I can't stop her from communicating with you, but I can put this in place to stop you from reciprocating. Okay, I'm not saying it's fair. I'm just telling you what's about to happen. That's it. Okay, so you're either going to abide by these, or if you don't and you get caught, guess what? You're going to be the one to face the consequence. Now, again, I'm not telling you that you're going to follow this. I'm just telling you what the order says, and if you don't follow it, there could be consequences and repercussions for it. Okay, I know that people violate these things all the time. They're doing so at their own risk. Okay, I strongly advise you not to do that, because you're going to end up back in jail, and you're not going to get a bond, because anytime I see somebody pick up a new charge for violating a judge's order, I'm not going to grant them a bond because they've already showed that they can't abide by it. Okay, now your next court date is going to be on January the 17th. However, if you bond out before then, you do not need to appear for that court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
You're a court-appointed attorney?
Okay. Do you have any children?
No,
Have you ever served in the United States military before?
no.
Approximately how much do you make per month?
I'm not working anymore.
Okay. Got it. Okay. All right. All right. I will grant that request for a court-appointed attorney. Do you have any other questions about your case?
No, that'll be all right.
All right. Good luck to you, sir. What's your name?
Deontay Parham.
All right. Mr. Parham, you were here with Miss Enriquez, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to tell you what I told her. I did grant her a bond, but I did tell her that she's to not have any contact with you until her case is resolved or another judge changes her bond conditions. Okay. Now, I told her I can't stop you from speaking to her, but I can stop her from speaking to you. So, you know, if y'all are still going to be together or whatever it is your relationship is, just know that she's not supposed to have any contact with you. Now, if she listens to me, great. If she doesn't, she puts herself at risk to going back to jail. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Now, as it relates to your specific charges, because initially when I read hers and then I saw your name in her report, I thought that you guys had gotten into it with each other and, you know, it was going to be something different, but your charges are way different than hers. I'm dismissing the charges against you because you're not alleged to have done anything to her. You're alleged to have just not abided by what law enforcement said. Now, those charges could come back. I'm not saying that they will, and I'm not saying that they won't. That's none of my business, okay? But your particular charges, I'm dismissing, okay? So if you don't have anything else that holds you, you will be released once all this paperwork gets processed. Do you have any questions about your case?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, Mr. Parham. Good luck to you and don't come back.
Yes, sir. Never planning on it.
All right.
Yes, sir. Only argue with. Only argue with.
All right. What's your name?
Antonio Pitt,
All right.
P-I-T-T-A.
They have your last name is P-I-T-T-S.
Yeah, P-I-T-T-S, Pitts.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yep, I got you. Okay. I just didn't. All right. We're good. We're good. We're good. Mr. Pitts. All right, Mr. Pitts, you were charged with one count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substances Act, felony. The bond is $3,000. One felony count of possession of a weapon or commission of a crime. The bond is $2,000. One misdemeanor count of possession of drug-related objects. The bond is $1,000, and then one misdemeanor count of loitering. The bond is $1,000. So your total bond is $7,000. Your next court date is going to be on January the 17th. But if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna get the court one right now.
Okay. Okay. That's fine. I will approve that for you, Mr. Pitts. Do you have any questions about your case?
Nah, that's it. Appreciate it.
Okay. All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Pitts.
All right, thanks.
Mm-hmm. All right. What's your name?
Right.
Give me just a second. Oh, are you Mr. Randers?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So I've got you on the line. All right, sir, you are charged with one misdemeanor count of driving under the influence. The bond is $3,000. One misdemeanor count of impeding traffic. The bond is $500, and one misdemeanor count of open container violation. The bond is $500. So your total bond is $4,000. Okay. Let me see. This is not legible. Are you going to be able to make your bond?
Yeah.
Okay, very
I
good.
still haven't called anyone though, so I'd have to call somebody.
I understand. Okay. Yeah, no worries on that. Okay, your next court date is gonna be on January the 2nd. However, if you make your bond, you do not need to appear for that court date, okay?
Okay.
You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to?
For now, I'm gonna do the court appointed and then I'll try to go find one, but I don't have
Okay.
it.
I got you. No worries. I will go over your application in just a moment. So I told you your total bond is 4,000. Okay. CAA form. All right. I will grant your request for a court-appointed attorney. And like you said, if you want to change your mind later on down the road, that's cool. Just make sure, you give your lawyer plenty of notice before your next court date that you'll receive in the mail, okay?
January 2nd, right?
Well, if you bond out, that January 2nd date, you don't have to worry about.
It'll come in the mail?
Yes, that's correct. Just make sure that your address is accurate so you don't miss it in the mail, okay? Like, make sure that your address is up to date with the
It's whatever I gave them.
I'm sorry?
It's whatever I gave them like when I first came in.
It should be, yeah. And then if you have any questions, you can always go to the courthouse and go to the clerk's office and then confirm with them what your make sure that they have the right one. And then if you use a bonding company too, your bonding company will make sure that you are aware of your court date, or at least they should. All right. Do you have any questions about your case?
No.
Excuse me. All right, Mr. Randers, good luck to you.
Thank you, man.
Need just a moment, sir. What's your name?
Joel Morgan Summers III.
All right. All right, so you're charged with one misdemeanor count of loitering. The bond is 1,000. One misdemeanor count of public drunkenness. The bond is 1,000. So your total bond is $2,000. Your next court date is going to be on January the 2nd. However, if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that particular court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
Own court.
Okay. Are you currently employed, Mr. Simons?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you currently married? Oh, I'm sorry. Are you married?
No, sir.
Do you have any children?
No.
And have you ever served in the military?
No.
Okay, all right. I will grant that request for a court-appointed attorney. Do you have any questions?
No, sir. I don't know if I can make bond or not. I have no.
I understand. I got you. I understand. Well, your next court date will be on January the 2nd, okay? Any other questions?
No.
All right, good luck to you. All right, what's your name?
Eric Stanley.
All right, Mr. Stanley, you are charged with one misdemeanor count of criminal trespass. I am going to set a bond of $2,000. You are to not have any contact with Miss Tiffany Chambers. Also, do not return to 912 Sandalwood Court in Morrow. It looks like you live at a different address, so that's fine. Your next court date is going to be on January the 2nd. However, if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that particular court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
Court-appointed.
Okay. All right, I will grant that request. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, good luck to you. All right, what's your name?
Daryl Stewart.
Okay, Mr. Stewart. Mr. Stewart, you are charged with one felony count of aggravated assault. I am going to set a bond at $20,000. You are to have no contact with Kimberly Stewart. Do not return back to the 7227 Alicia's Way in Morrow. However, if you do bond out, I am putting that you can return back with the sheriff's office and get any belongings that you may need until your case is either resolved and you can go back, or you through an attorney or through yourself file a bond modification motion. Your next court date is going to be on January the 17th. However, if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
I'd have to use the state one for now.
Okay. Are you currently employed?
Yeah, I'm a music producer.
Okay. And then about how much do you make either per month or per year?
If I had to guess, probably like 1,500, 1,600.
Okay. All right. And are you married?
Oh, no.
Okay. Do you have any children?
No.
And have you ever served in the U.S. military?
No.
All right, then I am going to grant your request for a court-appointed attorney. Do you have any questions about your case? All right, good luck to you, Mr. Stewart.
Thank you.
All right, what's your name, sir?
Freddie Zavala.
All right, Mr. Zavala, you are charged with one, hold on a second, one felony of false imprisonment. I'm going to set a bond at $2,000. And one misdemeanor count of criminal trespass. I'm going to set a bond at $2,000. You do have special conditions to stay away from Jennifer Lopez Rotana, and also not to return back to the 7401 Chilton Lane address in Riverdale. Now, it looks like that's your residence, so I am putting in your bond order that you can go back there and get your stuff, right? But you have to do so with the Clayton County Sheriff's Office, or you have to have somebody get your stuff for you until either your case is resolved, or you through an attorney files a bond modification, and another judge says that you can go back there. Okay, so in the meantime, until that happens, don't have any contact with her and don't go back there unless you're with the sheriff's office to get your belongings. Okay.
Okay.
You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
I'll get the state one. Okay. I also have a quick question.
Yep, give me 1 second, and I will let you ask your question. Okay. All right. I am going to approve your request for a court-appointed attorney. Give me just a moment. Do yours online. Okay, I find everything. Okay, Mr. Zavala, what's your question?
Okay, so well, she's my only contact that I know, and she told me that she was gonna bond me out, but I don't know if I can ask her because that's her only phone number I know in my head. If she can call my sister and, 'cause
Yeah.
yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay. I understand the dilemma that you have, right?
Right.
This is all that I can tell you is that I'm putting in the order to not have any contact with her. Now, you can contact anybody else in the world that you want to, and she can contact you, but it's kind of it's a little bit crazy to think that she can contact you, but you can't contact her, right? And I get it, it's difficult. But if, for example, if she's able to get in touch with your sister and your sister can contact you, then that's great. That works fine. But it can't be the other way around. Now, do I know? I've been practicing law for over 10 years. Do I know that people don't necessarily listen and contact people anyway? I know that that happens, but it's a huge risk to you because let's just say that you do that and then she has proof that you've done it. She could call the police and now guess what? You're getting locked up again. So, I have to just give people like, hey, don't do this, and do it that way. But I know that there are a lot of people out there that try to trick people into contacting them. And they're like, well, they contacted me. I'm like, yeah, but it's not on them. It's on you. So do with that information whatever you want to do with that information. Okay. I know that sometimes it puts people in a really bad situation, but I just have to do my part, right? I can't give you advice and I can't be partial to you. I have to play it down the middle. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions?
No, that's it.
Okay. They'll get you to sign on the computer and then I'll send over the paperwork physically as well. All right. Good luck to you, sir. That's all the people that I have. Do we have anyone else?
No, Your Honor, that's it.
Okay, very good. Well, did everybody got to sign on the computer except the female Holland? Is that right?
Right, everybody figured to sign right now.
Okay, that's fine. Well, I'm going to send over everything physically anyway. So anyone that's not able to sign on the computer, then their paperwork will be physically sent over anyway.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Y'all have a good day.
Just
All right.